Okay, let's talk. What's going on? I'm DC. I have a question. What is your idea of relationship compatibility? Does it mean there's a list that you're checking off, making sure that somebody meets the standards and qualifications of everything you're looking for in a partner? Mental, religious, spiritual connection that you need to have? Is love even included? Just leave it all up to faith and chance and believe that you'll meet your partner or they'll find you. Don't forget, like, subscribe, share.
Hey y'all, I'm Wakita. I am DC's sister, and I'm also a healthcare worker in the DC metro area.
Okay. Second, we have David Cherry. David, introduce yourself.
What's going on? My name is David Cherry. Is currently serving in the military. Also, owner of Marvelous Bully Camp LLC. So go follow me on Instagram, Facebook.
No doubt. Third, we have Jay Hobbs again. Welcome back, Jay Hobbs. Want to go ahead and introduce yourself again?
Of course. Yeah, so this is Jay Hobbs. I'm the owner of the Hobbs Homes Real Estate Group based in Washington, D.C. You can follow me on Instagram at jay.w.hobbs, Hobbs.
Awesome. Next, we have Janita Pritchard. Welcome back, Janita.
Hey, I'm Dr. Janita Pritchett. I am a chemist by training, but academic program manager and a little bit of everything else in between. I am the co-founder of Facilitate to Motivate, as well as JSP Coaching and Consulting. You can follow me on Instagram at Dr. Janita Pritchett, spelled like my name, or on Twitter, Dr. Janita.
Awesome. Last but not least, we have Christina Jones.
Hey everybody, so I'm Christina. I am a scientist and I'm also a co-founder of F2M. You can look us up on facilitatetomotivate.com. It's a consulting group that's offering professional and personal development. And I'm on Twitter at CM Jones, PhD.
Awesome. So guys, we have a pretty diverse group of backgrounds here, give different perspectives. I'm gonna start it off with this. And anybody can jump out first. My first question is, what is your idea of relationship compatibility? What does that mean to you?
It's a vibe.
It's a vibe? Okay.
It's a vibe. It's how I vibe with you, how I rock with you, how we, see eye to eye on different things, how we could speak without even talking to one another. So that to me is compatibility.
I agree. It being compatible with someone, you have the same interests, maybe. Like she said, it's truly a vibe.
So let me ask this question real quick before I let anybody else say anything. With it being a vibe, is compatibility a necessity in the relationship, or is it just something that, if you get it, or especially if it's a short-term relationship, does compatibility always matter?
What type of relationship are we talking about?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Are we focusing on short-term relationships? Is that
All relationships.
Do we care about vibes then? I don't know.
Some people do. Some people feel like
it depends on how short
with
that
anybody you
relationship
encounter.
is.
I mean, there are different types of vibes too, right? Like, so it depends on the purpose of the relationship. Even if it's short term, if it's just physical, we need a physical vibe. If it's long term, then the vibe probably needs to be more serious of a, I don't know, it's intellectual, it's emotional, it's everything. But the vibe component is always there no matter what type of relationship it is. It's just that the type of vibe changes with the type of relationship.
Okay.
I definitely agree with that because, like she said, if it's short term, then the vibe is definitely going to be mostly physical. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm saying physical features, attraction, whatever the case may be. But long term, it's got to be more to it than that. I can't be in a long term relationship with somebody I can't talk to. I can't be in a long term relationship with somebody that I can't ever agree with. Everything ain't gonna be peaches and cream all the time, but there's got to be some spot where we can at least agree. You know what I'm saying, or at least be cohesive. You know what I'm saying, in some moment in time.
So I actually did a Bible study yesterday, and it was talking about compatibility. And one thing that they were saying about compatibility, or the term or the textbook term for compatibility, is A state in which two things are able to exist or occur without any problems or conflict. I feel like, of course, you have to have some compatibility, but that's not the end all be all. Being suited with someone is more important. What can that person bring to your life as far as adding value? Because if they don't add value, eventually you're gonna get tired of them anyway. Like Cherry was saying, of course, compatibility. You have to be able to talk to the person. There has to be a vibe, but I feel like that's not the end all be all. Okay. When it comes to friendship, you definitely have to be compatible though. But in relationships, being suited for a person is more important.
Great point. Great point. All great points. So this is my question, because I heard everybody name different things about compatibility, but does love play a part in compatibility for you specifically?
No, I mean, not if it's.
Explain, elaborate, please.
It depends. Like, if it's short term, then absolutely not. I don't gotta love you, you know what I'm saying, to be physically attracted to you. You know what I'm saying? I don't gotta love you to be interested, you know what I'm saying, in getting to know you. You know what I'm saying, but if it's long term, then yeah. You know what I'm saying? But I don't think it starts off as just, you know what I'm saying, love. I mean, I think compatibility is a subset, you know what I'm saying, to love. You know what I'm saying? It's more than just, you know what I'm saying, love. So it's more than just compatibility. You know what I'm saying? Love forms is made up of many different things. You know what I'm saying? So, and like what Keita was saying, like, if you're going by the textbook definition, that's impossible. There's no way that two people can be 100% compatible all the time. It's not possible. Right. You and your spouse, or you and a significant other, or you and somebody that you're in a relationship with, will not always agree, ever. You know what I'm saying? 100%, like, everything, you guys are not going to always see eye to eye on the same exact thing. You guys are two different people. You got two different upbringings. You know what I'm saying? You guys have two different life experiences. So there's no way that you're going to be able to experience or agree 100% of the time. You know what I'm saying? But being compatible is just being able to coexist, you know what I'm saying, in an environment to where, like, you guys can help each other grow and help each other see or understand each other, you know what I'm saying, but not necessarily 100% agree all the time.
I would just start with saying, like, the first thing I have to do is like you, right? In order for you to like somebody, you know, it kind of has to be that vibe, you know. And I think, like, you just start kind of meeting the initial part of the compatibility phase or stage. Even if that is a stage, I guess it just evolves. Like, at least the first steps of compatibility are determined if you even like the person, you know? So.
Right.
So with that being said, and that's your idea of, you know, does love play a part? I want everybody to give me their definition of what love is. So everybody has a different definition. Your definition of being in love mean? What does that encompass? What does that embody for you?
You liking someone, whether you're fully compatible with them for their flaws and all, even the things that you don't necessarily like about them, you still like them in spite of those things.
So unconditional.
Right, exactly.
Okay. So love is unconditional.
I think being in love is just being able to accept the person for who they are and where they at in their life. You know what I'm saying? Being in love with someone is no judgment. You know what I'm saying? Being in love with someone is just being able to be there for them when they need you, and being able to let them know when they're failing or where they're falling. You know what I'm saying? But it coming from a place of where it's all love, right? It's all for that person to be better. You know what I'm saying? And I definitely think that's what love is, man.
So acceptance and honesty for you. Okay.
Man, I was actually trying to figure this one out. I don't know if I have a good answer.
That's why we have these conversations. You know, I want to get it out there and get the wheels turning, see what we all feel.
Yeah, being in love, man, that comes, you know, few and far in between. Like, truly being in love, probably the intersection of where I would say positive emotion and logic meets. So the positive emotion is like all the feelings that you have, you know, in terms of like infatuation, lust. Portion of it would be kind of like that assessment of like compatibility before you get there. So That's what I would say, just like the intersection of, I guess, emotion and logic.
So for you, it's just basically a place that you are with that person.
Yeah, I mean, I think emotion, like, I feel like being in love is definitely, I don't know, man. Emotions are tricky because they can fade in and out, you know.
Yeah.
So you can be high one month, and then 2 months later down. You know what I'm saying? So if you come back up, but
Love is like life.
definitely, yeah, it's definitely it's a moving target,
Okay.
but I definitely feel like there's a baseline that you have, and I guess like the underlying portion of it would be, mutual respect.
So mine is an and to everything else that's already been said. So in addition to what's been said, I think it's oftentimes putting the other person's needs ahead of yours, and being considerate of someone else and making sure that their well-being is taken care of as well. Being in love with someone oftentimes means making sacrifices. It means having to compromise on things that you may not want to agree on. But ultimately, you all are working towards a similar goal, assuming it's a long-term love that we're dealing with. You all are working towards some type of similar goal, and so you all are making the necessary sacrifices together to achieve those goals. So it's putting other people's needs ahead of yours sometimes.
The love is compromised for you.
Yep.
Definitely compromise. So I'm gonna be a bit like Wakita. When I think of love, like, you know, not even being in love, just love at its core, at its foundation in every relationship in your life. I mean, it goes back to First Corinthians, right? Like, love is kind, love is patient, does not envy, it does not boast. Love is about, you may not forget, but you forgive. Love is, it doesn't dishonor others, so I think about it as not easily angered. So love is essentially accepting someone where they are, accepting someone for their flaws. Love is compromise. It's so many things, but yeah, it's patient, it's kind.
Versatility.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what it is at its core. So before we can even get to being in love, before anything, just like looking at love in your life, that's what it is. That's the foundation.
Well, I'm gonna share my perspective. I've had many perspectives growing up, but one of them, I was thinking about it today, and I was like, I remember at a point when I was thinking, if I'm in love, does that mean I'm selfish? And I say that because when you love somebody, it's based off of how they make you feel, how you feel when you're around them, what they've done to show you that they care, and it incites an emotion that grows into love. So if I'm basing these all off the things that I feel, does that make me selfish? And I think in part it does, but you should also want your partner to be the same way, to be, feel selfish about how they feel towards you, because it's based off of your perception. Because very few people will say, I'm in love with you because you love me. It's because of your reasons, not anyone else's, it's your reasons. So it's okay to be selfish in that sense. It's okay to have a one-sided view, but it's also awesome and great to be versatile, to be understanding, to be honest, to meet at a certain point, to have different perspectives. It's good to have all of those things, but I think that comes from growth. We all grow, hopefully, to acquire every single thing that everybody here mentioned. But I think depending on where we are when we fall in love, we might only be at, the base. So we grow to develop those other things. So it starts off for me as a selfish feeling. With that being said, I'm gonna go on to the next thing. I'm gonna talk about cheating. What is your definition of cheating? What is cheating to you? Because different people have a variety of answers for what cheating is. It could be something small, it could be something big. It could be a thought, so I want to know what each one of your ideas of cheating is.
I feel like cheating is physically and or emotionally giving yourself to another person without your partner knowing. So, for instance, of course, physically cheating is physically cheating. think you can emotionally cheat without physically cheating. So, like, all of the conversations that you may have with another person that you are not having with your spouse that would bring you guys closer, if it's the opposite sex, I feel like it's kind of cheating, especially if they aren't friends with the other person, if that makes sense.
So emotionally and physically.
Like, no new friends. If I don't know them and you over there, like, that's, yeah, we can't be having
Carrie don't look
intimate
like
conversations with other females when you have.
I get it.
Man, like cheating is it's straightforward, but it's also complicated, right? Because let's say you have you're close friends with a member of the opposite sex, right? And you guys have been close friends for a long time, and you're in a relationship, right? Granted, whether or not the relationship came before or after, right? You guys were friends. If the person that you're in a relationship feels that interaction or that behavior is unduly familiar, you know what I'm saying, they may consider it cheating. You know what I'm saying? So, but to you, it may just be this is how we you know what I'm saying, this is how we show that we're friends. This is how we are as friends. You know what I'm saying? So I think, like, being in a relationship, the idea of cheating, you got to really sit down and talk to your partner about, hey, what are your boundaries? Like, what do you consider, you know what I'm saying, cheating, not cheating? What is it that you will or will not accept in regards to the cheating aspect, right? The cheating term. But like Wakita said, I mean, physical obviously goes without saying, but emotional. If someone makes you feel the way your spouse or significant other makes you feel, you allow that to happen, then I think that's cheating.
one of the things that Cherry said,
Yeah, go ahead.
friendship thing. So I think a lot of times where people get in trouble there is that there's nothing wrong with having friends, but there's a problem whenever it's how you present said friend. If we've been dating for 6 months and then all of a sudden I find out, oh, this is my best friend and I've never heard about this person, then
Yeah.
that's a little questionable. So if, like, this person really is a friend, if this person really is someone that you care about, it wouldn't coming out later on down the line. I would probably have hung out with this person and things like that. So I think where men and women mess up is that they don't disclose the nature of the friendship or how close they are for fear of wanting to make it seem like there's something there. And by default, by kind of hiding that and then letting it come out later, that creates a problem.
So let me ask you a question. About that, right? So let's say, right, you can't be in the same area, right? Let's say you guys are not in the same area. Let's say you grew up with someone who was your friend from back in the day. You know what I'm saying? You guys were friends since high school, friends since college, whatever the case may be. You get in a relationship. You guys don't talk every day. So you guys are not on the phone, you know what I'm saying, buddy, you know what I'm saying, every day, because obviously you got lives, right? But let's say one day you've been dating with somebody, you know what I'm saying, and you guys you guys are infatuated with each other, so you guys are doing the newly relationship vibe, you know what I'm saying, you guys are enjoying each other's company, you guys are talking on the phone all the time, whatever the case may be, and one time you guys are together, whether it be 6 months, 4 months, 3 months, 8 months down the line, it just happens that person calls your phone, and that person sends you a text, and you see it. I was like, oh, this is my best friend from high school. Oh, why haven't I known about this person? Now you upset. You know what I'm saying? That you never heard about this person, but it just never came up. It was never a conversation as to where, because I don't think that happens in relationships. I don't think you sit down like why you dating or why are you talking like trying to get to know each other. You know, say, hey, how many friends do you have? How many best friends do you have? You know what I'm saying? Like where are they at? You know what I'm saying? Can I meet them? Like that conversation doesn't happen in a relationship. You know what I'm saying? It really doesn't. I say you normally introduce your significant other or the person that you're in a relationship with to people who are closest, like who are friends with you in that general vicinity. You know what I'm saying? So
I
whenever
beg to differ.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I've moved all around, and so I have friends all over,
Exactly.
different cities that I've lived in, and so yeah, if there's someone that's like truly a close friend, they will have been mentioned. But to that point, if someone because it sounds like, okay, they were a best friend in the past, and they happen to reach out to you. So again, it's about how you present that person when that person reaches out to you. that will likely help to prevent any problems. If you just all of a sudden, oh, this is my best friend from out of high school, she hit me up and now we're hanging out. It's like, but wait, you've never talked about this person. Y'all have never conversed. Y'all have never, in the last 20 years, we all grown. We ain't been in high school in how long? And so now 20 years later, she found you on Facebook and now y'all want to start hanging out on a regular basis. That is a little bit odd to me.
I mean, it would be on a regular basis if that person is all the way across the water, right? Or all the way across the way. But if it may be just hanging out, it may just be a conversation. You know what I'm saying? But like you said, how you present it, and I don't think, like, in all honesty, I don't think any way you present that, you know what I'm saying, at that given moment in time, I don't think it's going to be up to that person to take out how they see it in any type of way, right? Just like you said, it seems like to you, like if it wasn't mentioned like early in a relationship and that person didn't come to the picture or come to light, it's a problem. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like it's really
it's not a problem. Again, it's how you mention it and then what actions transpire after the person comes up. And so
if they're your best friend, like I can tell you, my best friend is a guy, and as soon as he felt serious about his girlfriend, he FaceTimed me and we talked, me and his girlfriend.
Right.
So that she knew who I was. So if I randomly, because I don't talk to him every day, I might talk to him once a month sometimes, depending on what's going on. He FaceTimed me, was like, okay, I think I'm getting serious with this girl. So on Tuesday, I'm going to call you so you can talk to her so she knows who you are and blah, 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 yada, yada, yada.
Right.
So just random, I just guess it depends on how you guys communicate.
To me, that goes back to insecurities. Like, just because somebody has a friend that you're not aware of does not necessarily mean that, something negative has to be happening. I mean, there could be, I guess, past trauma that, males or females have experienced, but then you bring that to this situation and you kind of handicap yourself or handicap the relationship because you're bringing in pre-existing scenarios that may not have anything to do with this situation. So I also feel like in relationships, you got to let the other person live. Like they had a life before you, right? And you're joining at a specific time. And oftentimes in getting to know your partner, you're still trying to figure out, all right, well, how do I best deliver information? How is he or she going to take this type of situation, whatever it may be? So some things may come out over the course of time and not necessarily everything up front because of insecurities. Like one of the biggest things that are missing in relationships are just like having like honest conversations. I really feel like it probably takes about like 2 years for you to really get to know somebody, because that first year is, I'm not going to just say like a representative, but I'll say that they're trying to show you the best side of them, right? And I don't necessarily think that that's a representative. That's just a better side or a better version of that person. But then once you get into that second year, I kind of feel like those walls may come down. You may not have as much patience with that other person. You may feel even more comfortable with sharing information, and all different types of things happen. And that's when you really start learning the person, if you aren't specifically concentrating on trying to get to know that person at an expedited level. But if you just kind of like let things go naturally, I really think it takes about 2 years for you to like get to know that person and everything that's going on around them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And that's the problem though, because a lot of people try to rush it. Like for real, like a lot of people try to rush it and it falls apart because
they take even longer than that.
Yeah, I mean, like especially like when people are trying to thinking about getting married, especially if you're thinking about getting married, right? So you say 2 whole years, but in your mind, when you get married, most people think, I'm doing this for a lifetime. Well, 2 whole years is like that in comparison to a lifetime. So the more information that you can get, the better the compatibility is, the better your communication is. You got to learn people. People are complex. It's not like everything that you would expect up front. Like this goes back to that compatibility thing. Everything that you would expect up front may not necessarily be what the other person expects. So you have to like mesh and gel and try to figure all of that out. And once you do, around year 2 is probably like a better situation for you to be able to say, yeah, you know what, I do want to move forward in a more serious fashion than I am currently.
Might be done got on my nerves. I
No, I just think that Jay brought up a good thing about people being complex. And when he said that, some people have baggage and insecurities, my first thought was just that. But when when you get in a relationship with someone, you take that on, right? Like you're supposed to, you take all of them. So that means that you got to help them through that insecurity. So if you know that they have an issue with you having friendships, then that means that you have to be upfront about that. You have to be honest, and you have to like help walk them through that. And that's just what it is. Like, it's unfortunate that people have baggage, but when you get in a relationship with somebody, you take their baggage on, no other way around it. But then it seemed like when he came up and said the girl had the issue, I'm assuming he was trying to work with her. Like, that's just my friend and blase. But yeah, the baggage is part of the relationship. It's part of the person. So you got to take that too and just, work with them to make sure that they understand that, like, I'm here for you. So what do you need from me? So that I can just kind of show you that, like, this isn't what you think that it is.
Definitely. I'll weigh in on that. For different people, it's almost like a choice they have to make for being in a relationship and still being a friend to friends, because some relationships aren't strong enough to allow you to do that, to allow you to be a friend or go spend time with somebody who usually requires your time or a shoulder to lean on. That's where, like you said, trust comes in. Insecurities play a part, but at the end of the day, for me, cheating is simple and it's complex. It's basically, once you get to full disclosure, once you get to understanding and that point of that conversation in your relationship, cheating becomes whatever your partner says it is. It's a compromise. That's what you're accepting when you're with somebody. So once you get to that point where you've had that conversation, where you're at that point, whatever your partner says cheating is, the line is forever moving for all of us in different relationships. So if your partner says cheating is laughing at another person's joke, it is what it is. You can accept that. It varies, but it's up to you to accept that. And that goes into my next part of the question I want to ask you guys. In a relationship, is your happiness more important or the success of your relationship?
Happiness.
Happiness?
Of course.
Yes.
Happiness?
My mental health is far more important than a relationship.
So when you say, when you take it to that extent, what do you mean when you say your happiness? Because your happiness can be defined in the simplest thing, like compatibility. You can be unhappy that you're not compatible right away. You can be unhappy that you don't know who they are yet, but that doesn't mean that, it's something that you want to walk away from. So define or explain to me what you mean when you say your happiness is more important, please.
So when I heard happiness, I immediately thought like how I'm feeling, and just, am I waking up every day with a unsettled mind? Am I waking up every day feeling discouraged, feeling beat down, whatever? If I'm not happy, if I'm not able to wake up and you're not adding to that happiness, granted, you're not always going to make me happy. Of course, there will be times in which there will be disagreements and whatnot, but if the average does not equate to where there are more positive days than negative days, then you're, again, back to, I think Wakita had said it earlier, you're not adding value to my life. So therefore, I got to reevaluate, is this relationship worth it? And at the end of the day, yeah, my well-being, my mental health is necessary for us to have any type of positive relationship.
Right, because you can't be your best you, right? Like, you have to be your best you in order for the relationship to be successful. So if I'm not my best me, like, what are we doing?
Yeah, that's a two-way sword, right? Because we're all talking about being happy, and we're all talking about, your happiness and your happiness. But you just like everyone said before, everyone has baggage. You know what I'm saying? So with that happiness comes the baggage. So what if, like, before you get to know that person, or after the 2 years is up, like Jay said, you realize that this person has been suffering from depression, and she's been putting on this facade of being happy all the time, and now you have to deal with that. You know what I'm saying? How do you then Do you walk away from the relationship because you're not happy that the person is depressed, or the person is not, you know what I'm saying, her best self right now? And I can't be my best self because this person is going through something.